Hey all, I'm KezalQ, and no, my jacket is not from a thrift store. I promise, not $15. I promise, guys. So, business, finances, productions even, I think. It's about doing what works, which is apparently the same thing over and over and over and over and over and over and over. You get the point. I just feel like nowadays, everything is the same. There's nothing I'm gonna say that probably ain't new, but it's fun to talk about it anyway. I don't doubt I'm not the only one that missed those fun commercials from the 2000s, yeah? Or early 2000s? 90s even? 10% plastic, 90% attitude. But now wherever you look, brands, commercials, and just simply labeling is just bland. And I'm not talking about simple. Sometimes simple is fine, but it's just bland. We used to be cool. Radical even. 10%. But walking through a Target or Walmart is just meh. A lot of brands that have appeared lately have been sounding and looking the same. Take something like, I don't know, Sephora and Ulta Beauty. If you've gotten into like a Target in California before, or at least in my area, you've seen those little like pop-ups or just mini stores like what Toys R Us did in Macy's, if they still even do that. Not just because where I work is near stores with boring logos like that. Like, come on, dude. Really? This font is the best you can do? Now just compare these to each other and take a moment to think. What brought us to Arial font being like the default for all the modern businesses? These could just be my own dumb thoughts and having to be near the stores for so long. But there's also the fact that Walmart, for instance, has like 300 private labels. I don't know what those mean, but I don't do research. But like there's a whole list of stuff that they've done and put in their own stores. It's like, my god. When half of it looks the same, I can't even tell a great value from Arm & Hammer. I'll be standing there in the aisle for like a solid 20 minutes trying to figure out why there's two of the same thing. That's also not to mention board games. Huzzah. They aren't safe though. I hate that I keep like looking down. It feels like my eyes are gonna be... I don't know, dude. Is my mic on? Monopoly, for instance, is dated back past about over 100 years now, in its formal iteration at least. There is essentially no room for creativity anymore, or things that they haven't already done. And I'm not including those like Townopoly things, because I've seen like Los Angeles-opoly in my store nearby before, and there's too many. There's too many. Excuse you. But I don't know why. But they even decided to make Fortnite Monopoly. I don't know who thought that was a good idea. And I'm not going to let it like take over my life or anything and put it in a script about a video about things that haven't been original for the past 20 years. 21 that have been alive. I mean, I was the last original thing out of 2003, if I'm being real. But holy shit, this makes me want to vomit. There's no real gameplay difference from what I've seen, at least. And Hasbro still gave it the goddamn green light, so you could get really anything in a Target these days. And Yahtzee just has a bunch of different appearances. That I would let slide if not for some of them trying to push different ways to play. It's still the same Yahtzee. Like, you could go through all 20 or something variations of the box and it'll still end up being... Oh my god! 5. Now, it could be the fact that I'm an insufferable ADD-suffering idiot with opinions, but would you not want to make something new based on the concept that you know best? Me and my friends were at our local Target the other day, and we could not see any board games that actually looked enjoyable that were on the wall there. Like, we saw Exploding Kittens, and in every box beside it was pretty much like the same thing. From what I know is that I do have to kind of give Cards Against Humanity a pass, seeing as there's no real way to pack new cards into new packages for the same sort of game without it looking the same every time.
I don't know what these different packs mean.
Because it's more or less, some games like that more so have a booster because they already have as many possible ways to play in one pack than I do with your mom. But there's no real way they can make something new for a box that's interesting in their own aesthetic that they haven't already done. Like for the picture box. That's the only real way they could get away with something new. But it has been a good tactic, in my opinion. And in all of my infinite unknowing Non-wisdom idiot. What the f? In my awesome, well-rounded mind process, I'm deciding to go out and buy a few things to compare. Geographically, I'm quite limited to the 2 stores that are like nearby, and I'm not taking the 241 anywhere. Quite frankly, I just kind of walked around Walmart for a bit, and a lot of things did look alike, but they were just under different brands. I know I've been talking about like mostly opinionated things, but I really want to emphasize that I just want to bring light that at least here in America, we got to be more creative again. Like, I don't want to see walls and walls of the same fonts, the same colors. Like, we used to be awesome. We used to have cool gamer chairs back in the 90s, and then we also had the coolest like music videos shot here. Like Sum 41. The insane graphics of the early 2000s and like late 90s are some of my favorite designs. Last year, up until that, I had the fortunate chance to go to a Burger King. There's not really footage of it that I have, but they had this real hot commodity called Surge. Apparently it's supposed to still be there, but it stopped production in like I think 2004. But it tasted so good, dude, and it had like the coolest logo that I saw on a soda machine. And like, you just have to try it if it looks cool. Not like that mellow yellow or whatever. It's just something about fancy logos that make things taste better. And I'm not talking fancy about like L'Oréal Paris. As if I haven't gotten 500 ads for that on my own videos. We are not in a live studio audience. But it's only at Burger King, and I guess their run for the Coca-Cola freestyle machine doesn't get supply anymore, because last time I went, it just wasn't there. I'm sad. It's probably not a good idea for random time jumps. And no, I'm not going to point out the fact I've gotten the most horrendous haircut since last video. Like dog. Anywho. So, I promise we're not a food channel, but ew, I'm gonna get cancer, I swear. Apparently there's another blue Powerade, and this section is not scripted, so I get to do whatever. I love it. I'm gonna try this one first. Okay, 4 of these. Hopefully this doesn't ruin the taste of the other 2, but. You know, it's not too bad, but it tastes exactly like the pizza one, just a bit spicy. Yeah, a bit of a fire going on inside my system. I'm probably gonna have about a few pounds of diarrhea. I was gonna talk something about the Moss Plus hydration things being a ripoff of like Prime, which is a ripoff of Gatorade, but it was actually pretty good. And I kind of like drank them already last night. So I'm gonna try the original Mountain Berry Blast, because I haven't had these in a while, and I just need a palate cleanser from that fire rupturing my intestines to give me stomach ulcers. All right, hot ones. I saw my brother react to these in a not so good way, and my God, the lighting is getting worse. I really need better diffusion. Fuck. Anywho, grabbing 4, 3 apparently. Man, I'm not reaching for the last Pringle. Kind of like tastes like those Cobra Takis, if you've ever seen those. I had like a bunch over the summer when I was lifeguarding, which is probably not a good idea if I want to avoid heat stroke. Having 5 kilos of capsaicin in my system, and I'm probably destroying half of the plumbing system tonight. That was a horrible experience, and I'm probably gonna get like 4 different types of cancer now that I've had those. Powerade is good, but the Pringles, I sadly couldn't show the wall of them in my last video, but there are like 40 different types of Pringles out at Walmart. Only try what you want. I know they had friggin', what was it, elote Pringles? Those are kind of good actually. I need to put those on my list. What do you think about the video? Even with these, I still believe that even in super niche things like taste, there's a overgrown market. Like I kind of just showed, there's way too many types of food. People want to push healthy foods, some of which include stepped on burgers. I also heard of some energy drink that sounds like a gunshot and drippy cheese. I have the photo when I walked into Walmart of iShow Speed Prime, and I bought it. It tasted fine. It's supposed to be like some dragon fruit drink that does not taste like dragon fruit at all. But love it or hate it, it's just a drink like water and all those other sports drinks. Now, I'm not going to defend anyone because of how horrid these can be for us and not just Prime. A lot of drinks and foods in general have pretty deadly preservatives. Not really deadly, but things that can cause bad health issues. Some older and current drinks. There's that weird overflow of sucralose, which is pretty in terms of some scientists. And by some scientists, I mean this app on my phone that I use that says, "Ew, it's gonna give you cardiovascular disease. You're gonna die in 10 years. You're gonna wind up in a ditch, buddy." Though there is that lunch league controversy that's been coming to a close as of recording, at least. I really did not pay much attention to it because I already kind of did not like any of them from the start. Mr. Beastify this, Lunchly that. I have had the lucky and fortunate chance to not have to witness any of these in my local stores though, yet they're probably in like every other store that I have not gone to, like Albertsons. I don't doubt there's at least 20 more ways for that to cause cancer than a Lunchables though. Specifically, a Lunchables deep dish pepperoni pizza 15.12 ounce. Now, if I had to recommend anything, it would be become a farmer. I love farming. I love being a self-sustaining human. I love living in the middle of nowhere. But yeah, be productive. This isn't to say that buying cheap versions of things is bad though. Sometimes I can only like afford the $5 sweater from TJ Maxx. Some of those are comfy. And no, I did not get my jacket from Goodwill. I don't know who told you that. It is comfortable. It is cheap. It is affordable. And sometimes people can really only afford that. And food and other household goods should not really be as expensive as they are sometimes, in my opinion. But some stores really want to sell you a tiny little footstool chair for like $4,000. I don't need fancy chairs. I will settle for a $15 beanbag chair, and I will be happy even if my legs are going out all the way. Because I just really want to sit down. Until your pet gets on it, of course. They're gonna destroy a beanbag chair whether or not you like it. Just like my cat. She's torn up like 2 of my blankets. But I still love her. Lastly, I'm not trying to dunk on anyone or anything specifically. Specifically. We all have preferences, whether or not you like it, and I don't like it because my friends all hate the fact that I will settle for some $12 burger when I can afford it. Dude. Loud ass garbage truck. I myself am not safe from consumerism. Everywhere will just push ads that are made to take you in and make you buy stuff from their store. Shop here, 50% off. And it's still gonna be like $58 for a single half broken microwave. And nobody can stop it because it's the business. It's their money. They are already using it to advertise to you because they know you'll buy it. I hate businesses that do that because I'm killing my wallet. If I had to guess anything though, it's that things may never change. Everything will be like Arial font, just like I mentioned earlier. Everything will be Arial font, just like my whole script and everything I mentioned earlier. And why did my voice crack like that? I have already been past puberty for the past 7 years. Please stop. Even high-end brands, they're no longer unique. They don't look cool. Like Supreme had its cool font and all, and now everything's sort of just copying off that. Like, who wants to buy a brick anymore? Or the Supreme crowbar? Like, that's not why I was here 15 hours early. Anyhow, if you have any ideas on what silly dumb topics I should cover, I'll be in a weirdly placed sort of way until I figure out the script or anything. Comment anything really. I do look at comments. I've always looked at them. All 1,000 on a single video that are repeating the exact same phrase over and 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 over. I have been KezalQ, and my jacket is now $5 more expensive.